rebels, rebels.org, and reach out, with your name, your young person's age, and then our program coordinator will reach out to set a time to give you a tour of the facility, and then have you fill out a packet that has some waivers and things like that. If you want to, you're also welcome to just stop by the building between 3 and 7, Monday through Friday. You can stop by and get a tour and learn about our programming that way as well. So I'll also put our address in here and our phone number. Any other questions for me?
Is it a similar process if adults don't want to mentor or want to participate in that dance class that looked really fun? Maybe just some random person.
So we actually are a professional mentoring organization. So if you want to mentor, you'd have to come work for us. We are hiring. So you can go to our website if you're interested in working and passionate about working with young people. I'm putting our website in here as well in the chat. And then the dance classes and things, just because of COVID, those are things we're keeping internally for staff and for young people who are already signed up for our programs to try to mitigate things. With COVID, just so everyone knows, everyone has to wear a mask at all times. And we have been sort of limiting some of our groups to be a little bit smaller as well.
Awesome. Does anybody have anything for Ms. Cross? Otherwise, we will let her go mentor some young folks and do some fun things. All right, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. And this is recorded. So if you're like, oh, I don't have pen and paper, I don't want to get off the couch, I totally get it. This will be recorded. You can get that information in a little while. Thank you so much.
Great. Well, I'm going to hop off. It was nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. Hope to see you soon. All right. So we will move on to Miss Lexi Mulhern. She's the Blitz coordinator with Victory Gardens Initiative, and she's also going to do she's going to touch on some of the youth programming, obviously, that they do. So this is a great experience for youth, but it's also something, again, adults, if we want to participate, we're welcome there too. So Miss Lexi.
Awesome. Yeah, do you want to make me the host as well, or the co-host? Okay, I think I should be able to. Okay, cool. And how do you view? I haven't done a presentation in a minute. Okay, so yeah, my name is Lexi. I am the, can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let me make it look bigger. Full screen. Okay. So yeah, I am the Community Events and Blitz Coordinator at Victory Garden Initiative. I was supposed to be here with my coworker Marshall, who is our youth programs coordinator, but unfortunately he's not feeling well, and so he is not able to be here with me tonight. But yeah, Marshall is great. He is super great with youth. He was a mentor on the side, so he actually works with Running Rebels a little bit, the youth over there. And he came into VGI just kind of as a youth mentor, but not super familiar with gardening and farm things of that nature. But as you can see in this photo, he's super happy to be out in the gardens learning about like gardening and farming and the whole thing of it. I want to give a quick aside just on the topic of youth. This is not related to VGI, but if any of y'all have children who are going to be graduating high school this year, so the job that I did before this, it was City Year Milwaukee, and basically that's an organization where 18 to 26-year-olds go into Milwaukee Public Schools and work with 3rd through 9th graders. It's a super cool organization. It's a full-time job, and also if your children are interested in going to college, if you do 1 or 2 years of City Year, you get a little over $6,000 each year to put towards college. This is my director from City Year, so it's kind of cool. I was able to install a garden bed for her, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that. on the topic of youth. So yeah, a little bit about like our why here at VGI. So this is our mission statement. I'm not going to read it word for word, but basically it's really important to VGI that like we are building a community that can grow their own food, you know, like not having to depend on corporate stores that really don't care about you, that just take your money. There's a lot of power in being able to grow your own food, you know, things of that nature. And just the aspect of like community led, we really try to take in people from the community and just kind of like be a hub in which knowledge is like spread through, because you know, like we are staff at VGI, but at the same time there's a lot of people who know a lot more things than we do about certain things. So there's a lot of different aspects of our programming in which people can get involved in that type of way. Okay, so on to the topic of youth programming. This is Marshall's email, so you know, I'm not the youth programs coordinator, so I can only touch on the little bit that I know, but if you have any questions that I'm not able to answer, I would definitely recommend you email Marshall, or maybe you think of something that comes up after this presentation. Yeah, just direct anything youth related his way. I'll answer it to the best of my ability though. So one of the things that we do at VGI in terms of like youth programming is our after school programming. We're currently in 2 schools. We're at River West Elementary and Hopkins Lloyd Community School. And basically, yeah, we're just kind of in the after school programming there and teaching those kids about just garden related things. This photo of the lettuce over here, this was a lesson thing that Marshall was doing with his students. So basically with that is you have like a head of lettuce that you're gonna throw away. It's like a scrap, but then you put it in water and it just keeps like growing and replenishing itself. You don't even have to buy more lettuce. And so the kids were really excited to watch their lettuce grow. Another thing that we do, which is not always related, but oftentimes related to our after school programming, is field trips to the farm. So with River West Elementary and Hopkins Lloyd, we do a lot, or Marshall, I should say, does a lot of like field trips to the farm as part of his lesson plans with the after school students so that they can really see what we do on a bigger scale and really allow themselves to like get their hands in the soil and like planting their own like vegetables or their own lettuce that they grow. But it doesn't have to be related to like after school. So if you have a child who you think would be interested in having a field trip to the farm, I'm sure if you reached out to Marshall, that could be something that you, that he and the school can work out establishing so that your child's class can take a field trip to the farm. And we recently built a greenhouse in our backyard, a pretty big greenhouse. So we hope to have students out there and come spring to kind of learn about how greenhouse systems work and plant their own things in our greenhouse. Summer Agricore is another thing that we do. I'm not super familiar with this program, but to my understanding, it's kind of just like a summer-long thing in which like kids can come and just hang out at the farm and learn about things. We often invite community members in who, again, like are knowledgeable about certain things. This is Miss Caroline Carter. She is a raw vegan chef. And so she came in one summer and taught the kids how to make a raw vegan recipe, and they were super into it. Not sure what's going on in this bottom right corner, but you know, like more learning is happening. It's just a lot of learning about a lot of things. I wish I could speak more to it, but it's just not my programming. But yeah, the kids always love it. Parents always are like, yo, I want my kid to come back. They love this. So yeah, I would definitely recommend getting your children involved.
Alexia, I just wanted to ask, when you say the farm, is that the one that's in River West, or is there like a farm in some?
Yeah, I should definitely make mention of that. So we have our office. Our office is over on Concordia and Richards. It's like this big painted mural building. You can't miss it. But then right across the street, we have 1.5 acres of farmland. And so it's open to the community. Right now, there's a lot of things, like it's just dead. Not much is growing out there. But come spring, when everything is growing, like it's a super great place for people to come, and it's open to the public at any time. And yeah, that's where our youth programming happens a lot. Another thing that Marshall is in the works of establishing is a movie and gaming night. So next door to us, there's a church, New Dawn Church. And the pastor over there, Pastor Sistrunk, she mentioned to Marshall that in previous years, she would use the church as like a space in which kids could come and like have a movie night, but that is no longer a thing. And so she was talking to Marshall about kind of like partnering and trying to get that going again. And Marshall was really into it. So I think that's something that Marshall's in the works of creating. Yeah, so again, email Marshall if you want your kid to maybe go to that. And so, yeah, just kind of touching on some of the other aspects of our programming. They aren't necessarily youth specific, but youth are welcome at any aspect of this. So this is my email. Basically, for the rest of the things that I'm going to talk about, you can email me if you're interested in. If for some reason it doesn't pertain to me, I will direct you to who it more so pertains to. And I have my email posted, mine and Marshall's email posted again at the end. So if you don't have a chance to write all of these vowels down in initiative, you can do it at the end. Yeah, so the Great Victory Garden Blitz, this is the thing that I do. Like, this is the breadth of my job. And we're in our 14th year this year, and every year we install like over 500 garden beds across the greater Milwaukee area. And so it's happening from April 30th to May 14th. Harambee residents are in our discounted zone. And so any of y'all are able to get a garden bed for $25. And with this we come in, we build the 4x8 frame, we fill it with soil, we give you seeds, we give you like a welcome pack with resources. And yeah, it's just to try to get people to grow food. I think it's really fun to grow food. It's scientifically proven that gardening and working with soil raises the endorphin levels in your brain. So yeah, I really like it. A lot of people seem to like it. It's just a really good outlet to just go be by yourself and be in your garden, and then to watch things come to life in a few months. Also, touching on that again, that registration, if you do want a garden bed, is on our website, and I have our website posted on my last slide as well, but it's basically just victorygardeninitiative.org.
Can you get more than one bed? If somebody was really like moved by this presentation and wants to grow a bunch of food, can they do more than one, or is it just one per year type thing?
No, you can get as many as you want until we are sold out. So yeah, definitely get as many as you want. We also install them at schools, at churches, community gardens. So if you maybe don't want one at your house, but you think you want one at your child's school, that could be something that we can work out as well. Also, yeah, touching on the Blitz again. Sorry, there's a lot of components to the Blitz. We need volunteers in order to make it happen. And so if you don't want to garden, but you're just interested in getting involved in the process of it, you can go to our website as well and register as a volunteer. And you can also bring your kids. Another thing that we do, we recently started doing a Groceries and Dinner. So this is at our office building, which is at 249 East Concordia Avenue. On the third Tuesday of every month, we do a dinner along with grocery pickup, and that dinner is cooked by local community members. This is Miss Helen. She's our neighbor at Victory Garden Initiative, so she cooks for us a lot of the time. We also have this man coming in this month. His name is Jesus, and he's making tamales. But yeah, everything's free. It's just kind of a resource. If, I don't know, I don't like to go grocery shopping, so it's just like, if it's close, you might as well, right?
Excuse me, I just wanted to ask a question. What did you say the lady name is?
Miss Helen Dixon.
Oh, okay, there.
Do you know her?
I don't know her, but I think somebody else knows her.
She's popular. She knows everybody.
Oh, okay.
I'll mention your name to her. Let's see if she knows you. Another thing that we do, this is specific to when it's warmer out and when things are growing on our farm, is we have our farm stand. This photo here with the table with everything like laid out, that's towards the end of the farm stand. I should have taken a picture at the beginning because that table is like abundant. There's so many things. And it's all free again. We just have a lot growing on our farm, and we're just trying to give it out to people who want it. And yeah, these are we made tomatoes are like our most abundant thing growing on the farm, and so this past growing season we had just like a ton of tomatoes, more than we knew what to do with. So we just started canning them and making like tomato sauces, and that's what these here are. We would give them out during farm stand for free as well. A lot of people would make like, I don't know, spaghetti or chili or really anything with the cans of tomatoes that we made. So yeah, you can expect that from us.
Now, is this at the store, that 529 East Concordia, or is that at the farm, which I don't remember the address?
Yeah, so the farm stand is going to be at our office, but it's right across the street from our farm. So it's going to be at, most of these things will just be at like our 249 East Concordia Avenue. And you can kind of see it a little bit in this picture, but it's like this big corner mural building. Yeah, very hard to miss. Another thing that we do, so if you are interested in getting a garden and maybe you don't know much about gardening, we offer these things called move grass classes, which basically the idea behind it is to teach people about gardening and just to kind of like help them have a more successful first year, or just kind of learn more about their health or topics related to that in general. And we try to like hire teachers from the community who know about certain topics. So this is Angela. She runs a business called That Salsa Lady. So she has this whole big garden system in her backyard to grow ingredients for her salsas. And so she taught a class this summer about like DIY pest and weed control, because she has a little mini farm in her backyard and she knows a lot about that. So she taught that one. This is Miss Caroline Carter again, the raw vegan chef. And so she came in and taught a class for adults about like raw vegan eating and how to support your health in that type of way. And as you can see by this kid over here though, like kids are welcome at any point. The kids were actually really into her class. Something else that we do sometimes is just like a community conversation. We don't do this at any like scheduled time, but here and there we have things. Marshall, our youth programs coordinator, how he mentors youth, he often brings in the youth that he mentors, and he leads conversations with them about like masculinity and trauma, and it's open to the public, and so it's really cool. It's a cool little space. And then the last thing is, I kind of touched on it with the Blitz a little bit, but we have volunteer opportunities. Like the Blitz is a huge one during the summer when everything is growing. We can use as many hands as possible to get stuff harvested. And so if you're just interested in gardening and getting out on the farm, please reach out to me and I will get you connected. And yeah, this is just our emails, our social media, our website, and I would love to answer any questions. Or maybe there is none, and that's great.
For the Habitat folks on here, and Ayanna, Habitat, our folks have to do like 30 hours in the community. So I guess and I don't know if it applies to anybody on here, because some folks are closing in like a couple of weeks, so they're pretty much done with all their hours. But is that something they could do like in the next month or so? Or are you guys just kind of not obviously very active because it's winter?
We do still have like, we don't close our volunteer opportunities at any point. There's not a lot to do at this point in the year, but if basically I could make something happen. I could find a project for people to do if they're interested in getting hours. There's always something.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Does anybody have any questions, comments? Does anybody think they're going to be interested in getting a garden?
Hopefully.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Miss Lexi. I appreciate it. Doing two jobs, the Blitz and the youth stuff. I know. So I appreciate your time for this evening, and look forward to having you back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was good to meet some of y'all. Bye, a garden.
All right. So some of us might not have been able to take this intro poll, but I'm going to unveil the results. I messed up on the last question, but I'm shocked. Nobody chose broccoli. I mean, like, and literally everybody chose ice cream. For a while there was 100% ice cream, but somebody kicked in with the candy. Gotcha. Okay, the last presentation is with, teens that grow greens. And I'm actually going to, oh, Mr. Uline is here. Hey.
Good
He is
timing.
actually the executive director of Teens That Grow Greens. And
Teens Grow Greens.
Teens Grow Greens. And it's pretty amazing. It's pretty exciting. So I will, please take it away. Do you need me to share the screen with you?
Yeah, can you share the presentation? Or do you need me to do that?
I will give it a go.
Okay. If not, I can pull it up.
Well, if you pull on it, you get more.
There you go.
There we
Oh
go.
wow, I'm the only okay, so Teens Grow Greens. So this started, you're gonna have to, I've got 2 kids in the background here. So you know what? Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna move here, okay? Hold on.
It's nice not to be the only one.
All righty. Teens Grow Greens is skill building employment for teenagers. I founded it back, it was 8 years ago. And that was because I was a teacher and I saw that there was a gap in what some of the students were learning. I thought, a lot of the skills that we need are come from experience or experiential learning. And the classroom is needed, but it's not always the best for doing that type of experiential learning. The skills like leadership, healthy living, entrepreneurship. And I saw that a lot of the teenagers wanted jobs, but because of some of the lack of the skills or some of the lack of the network, they just weren't getting them. So that's where Teens Grow Greens came in. It is employment, and it's really, it's an education that is formed as employment. You can go to the next slide. We recruit mostly freshmen and sophomores for our internship. And what we have here is the journey. So we will recruit mostly Northside teenagers, freshmen and sophomore, and then we also recruit Southside teenagers as well. And this can look like a variety of schools, but we just target those 2 areas in Milwaukee. The internship begins where they apply. They will get a basics in training. What are our principles? They will go into healthy living. What does it mean for them to be healthy in their mind, body, and spirit? In the summer, they will work in the gardens and they will mentor youth in how to grow food, cook food, and build character. And they'll also be at the farmers markets where they will practice some of their selling skills and teamwork. During the fall internship, they will work on their entrepreneurial skills and they will create their own product, create their own business model, and then pitch that on stage at an event called the Perennial, which is like the Shark Tank. So at the end, what we're finding here is that the teenagers, they come out with a resume, they come out with these work skills, and they are, much more likely to gain further employment. 100% of our graduates are on track to graduate from high school or have graduated, and they all are leaving with these savings accounts. And then what we're moving into is something after the internship, and that is employment for graduates of the internship. And we call that the apprenticeship. Where this began was that we actually have our own greenhouse. It's called Weber's Greenhouse on Green Bay Avenue. It is 4215 North Green Bay Avenue. The nonprofit owns and operates the greenhouse, really as a space to employ graduates along this employment track of agriculture. So we will open again in May, and we are working towards having a year-round employment there. Can you go to the next slide? Oh, so this is the description of the internship. As I mentioned, we have 3 different internships, and you can do them all together. And when you do them all together, you get to have that opportunity to go on to the apprenticeships. Or let's say you do football in the fall, so you can't do leading through innovation, but you would like a summer job, you could do the leading for justice. So yeah, you can do 1, 2, or all 3. But when you do all 3, you are, what's the word I'm looking for? You have the opportunity to go on to the apprenticeships. Can you go to the next slide? And you can click through some of these. So these apprenticeships, they were really geared because we saw that a lot of the teenagers or a lot of the interns who graduated from the program were getting jobs, but a lot were service industry. Very few were going on onto higher education. So we saw that we really need to add on another step, and that's where the apprenticeship comes in. We have 4 apprenticeship pathways. You can click to the next one. The first one is agriculture. As I mentioned, they can either work at Weber's or they can work in the gardens, and they're learning how to grow plants. They're working with customers, customer service. They're working with the community to grow food and donate that to the food pantries. The education apprentices are working with the educators, and so they're like assistant teachers. These 2 are new for this year, sales and marketing. They're building on those entrepreneurial skills. They're learning how to grow food hydroponically, and then how do you market and sell that to the areas of most need in Milwaukee. The hospitality youth are going through a cafe training as well as a hospitality instruction so that they can go on to some of those much needed jobs in that area. And that's all in level 1. Level 1, they're gaining training down all of these pathways. At level 2, they become more of leaders in these apprenticeships, and they can either become leaders at Teens Grow Greens or with one of our employment partners like the Milwaukee County Zoo or the River West Food Pantry. And a really great thing too is like, so let's say an internship, they start at freshman year, they graduate, they go on to level 1 apprenticeship in, let's say, agriculture, and then they go on to level 2. So they'd be a junior then. Along with their level 2 apprenticeship, where they're making $15 an hour, they are also creating this leadership portfolio, which we are going to give it to MATC, and then they can get MATC credit. So essentially, it's like an AP for a trade type of job. And our hope, once they gain all of this, this 3 years of work experience, we are connecting them to further employers, or we are reconnecting them to MATC so they can take full advantage of the great programs at MATC or any other higher institutions. Oh, there's Weber's. Weber's was started in, like, I don't know, it's almost 100 years old. So there's a history there, right? And the great thing about Weber's is that you will have 50-year-olds taking their 80-year-old mothers to Weber's, saying that their mothers want to plant their collards, right? So there's tradition, there's history there, right? And that's why we didn't change the name, because Weber's is historic. All we say now is that it's Weber's powered by Teens Grow Greens, because that's what we're doing. We are carrying on through the teens being the workforce. We bought and operated it in 2018. Since then, we've had a significant growth in employment. We're able to employ more of the apprentices there, as well as make more money, which is always nice, because then you don't have to rely so much on donations, because more and more of the revenue is coming through what we would call this as a social enterprise. This is actually old statistics, but so it's actually for the summer of 2021, 81% of all graduates were able to obtain and retain employment. The national average for youth was around 51%. So they're doing a lot better there. And then 100% of the graduates are on track or have graduated from high school. So there's, there is a correlation there between what we do and future success, or success in career or in high school. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure I didn't put in any other slides. Awesome. So we will be recruiting again. I think it is, well, we're always recruiting. So if you are interested, please go to teensgrowgreens.org. You'll have a contact thing there, and then you'll say, listen, I have a teenager. They are interested in signing up for the internship, and then we can put them on a waiting list for the summer internship. Thank you.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions? I think I just wanted to clarify, they do not necessarily have to start as freshmen, right? If they, if our families move in and they have a junior in high school, that's fine too.
That's fine too, yeah. The only reason why we say we try to target freshmen is so that we can build up these skills before they graduate, so that they have more options come graduation time. But we've taken seniors in the internship, so it all depends.
And I asked this for Victory Gardens. Our families do 30 hours of sweat equity in the community. And I'm wondering, I don't know if now is a good time, or if it's more like summer or springtime. Would there be any opportunities that you could see our families, helping out you guys, whether it's through events or?
Most definitely. If there's a list of events, and there's different volunteering opportunities. You can learn alongside the teens. You can work with them. I can send you that survey of events, and if you fill out the survey, then we'll get your email and we can contact you from there. Does that work?
Yes. Wonderful. Anybody have anything else, or is everybody just thinking about dinner right now? All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Uline. I appreciate your time, energy, and your organization. And I hope to see you soon.
Yeah. Congrats on the new homeowners.
Mm. Sounds good. All right, folks, I will, I guess, yep, we're ending a little bit early. Please reach out to us if you're like, oh, shoot, I wish. I have a quick survey, which would be really great if you could complete. And other than that, I will do my own shameless plug. So next Wednesday is community organization resources. So again, we have Riverworks community organization, we have West Care, there's Safe and Sound in the neighborhood. They all do great things, but they all do really different things. So kind of when you get in your house and there's things that you want to do, I would really like to do a cleanup, or does anybody do back to school events? I'd like to help, raise money for book bags or whatever the case is. They do a lot of those things. I'm really excited because I don't know this information. So I'm really excited to learn about the Block Ambassador program. So that's all next Wednesday. On the 16th is our Advocacy and Education Resources. So that's going to be Mr. Dare Madison from African American Roundtable. We have Rick Banks is the acting director for the Harambee Community Association. So that's kind of, they meet quarterly. So you kind of sign up to get the emails. And they have different speakers, or if there's different funding opportunities, or if there's legislation coming through that would affect your property taxes or streetscaping or something like that. We also have confirmation that the alderwoman's going to be there. So she's going to be a really good key to know, because when you followed all the paths that we talk about, and you're not getting the results you want, that's who you want to call. So it's going to be great for you guys to meet her. And then the last one is kind of the enforcement. So again, talking about addressing challenges, that's where there's going to be the community liaison officer, the community partnership unit with the DA's office, and then the Department of Neighborhood Services. So what do those people do, why you should care, and how they might help you as you move into your house. So those are my shameless plugs for the next couple of weeks. I hope you'll consider joining us and dragging family and friends in as well. This is kind of very centered on Harambee, but you know, if you have family and friends that you think would, you know, benefit from this, by all means, enjoy it, you know, and invite them in. And if nobody has anything, I will leave you with the survey, which you will do because I'm begging you. All right, folks. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us.